as we enter into the back half of 2024 and the video game industry continuing to struggle with things like these new released video games, with some rare exceptions, as we are all patiently waiting for Thomas to tweet out any update about No Rest for the Wicked. We're going to talk about that here in today's video, but I got a beautiful question, kind of some relief in all of the drama that happens online around video games, and that is, how do I like Black Myth Wukong versus No Rest for the Wicked? So we're going to talk about that, but first I want to give you guys an update on the expected release date for patch number 4, The Breach, as Thomas has teased that out. I'm also going to say the multiplayer patch as well, because that seems to be something that they are shooting for hand in hand. Now, I put out there that we might see a follow-up update that adds more content. The Crucible that was cut so they could deliver the game on the 25th, but here we are a month later, and while I still have a few days, the 29th of this week is perhaps a day we might see an update. I don't actually think we're going to get the big update or any update for Wicked here in August. Now, as promised, unless something changes, as I will gift out 5 members on my next stream. That is what I owe you when I make these kind of predictions. I want to put something on the line, so hopefully you guys are able to tune into the next live stream, and we'll gift those out if there is no update this week. I'm not thinking there's going to be an update this week, so what's better? Let's talk about when we might actually see the update. So from what Thomas has talked about, what he talked about with me in the interview, and if you guys haven't seen the interview, please go check it out. It's 2 hours of, I think, a lot of really good information and insight. Just note that I'm thinking that most likely the best dates are in October. That's going to give it that 3-month window from July. And the reason it ends up being is that September is already going to be jam-packed, and it's not like they're going to hold off of content just because of other games are going on out there. No, that's not going to be the plan. But what they can do is they can use this time to cook the game up and make it big. And that way they can also do another big marketing push. That's where you see them go on the interview circuits. That's where we see all kinds of ways that we can get people into the game to try it out for the first time, or come back to the game and check out everything that's changed. And given that time, while yes, I would love to see it sooner, but giving them that time to cook will mean better. And here's the other things that we're seeing. We're not seeing them tweet out steak gifs of cooking up steak, where it has been relatively quiet, which tends to tell me that as a fellow dev, they're focused, their heads down, and they are very close. They're working on so many of these things in tandem. The multiplayer is already in their build of the game, for example. They're working on all these new zones, getting them just right. And I think that is going to be something that will be very exciting for all of us. And for those of you who've been patiently waiting, some more single player, some more story driven content to the game to roll out. But when are we talking about in October? Obviously, if I am wrong on these on this October window, I will gift out another 5 members on the channel. And again, if I'm wrong in this case and it comes sooner, we all win. And if we go into November, then it's going to be an interesting time, because typically around November, December, you kind of see people kind of busy. I don't know about you guys. I got family, and we got to get going, and we got Thanksgiving and Christmas, and things just kind of happen. October tends to be, I think, a really solid point in time. Now, I'm going to guess that you're either looking at October the 24th or, interestingly enough, October the 31st, Halloween. From a marketing perspective, with whatever the breach is, the plague system, all of that good stuff that we've been promised, and that's why I'm thinking this is a big update. The breach, multiplayer, plague system, perhaps new weapons, I think for sure going to be making their way into the game. And I'm personally really interested to see what the plague system looks like when it's running, but multiplayer will be a huge boost to this game and to its experience. And then we probably might also see the missing modes that they didn't have in the Crucible in time for the July 25th update. Again, and that doesn't sound meaty to you, it sounds like a big update to me, and I'm all in on it. Obviously, a little bit of this is speculation, a little bit of this is from what they've teased, so take it with a grain of salt, if you will. Now, I'm going to be sure to keep you guys up to date on any news that drops, especially from now till October. We'll be covering this game completely. But if you guys enjoy ARPG, sold like Wicked, if you're new to the channel, welcome in, guys. My name is Brian. This is a great place to hang out, and we love talking about video games. If you guys feel like I earn your subscription, sound off in the comments below like all of these freaking legends. Welcome in, welcome back. Now, let's get into why you clicked on this video in the first place. How is Black Myth Wukong in relation to No Rest for the Wicked? So first and foremost, as a fan of video games, ARPGs, and now Souls-like, I really love both of these games. They're also two vastly different games, and honestly, Wukong feels like a game personally that you play once, maybe you play twice. It's a playthrough, story driven, you got the bosses, and maybe then you go and challenge yourself to do different things, and that's perfectly fine. There's no denying the success of this game as it continues to crush out some impressive numbers from all over the world. This game has more than enough earned those numbers. These aren't, hyperinflated. This isn't some kind of fake form of hype. The game is that good. It is a very polished and fun experience. Now, Wicked feels like a game that personally I can make a home in. For a long time MMO fans, and I'm not calling Wicked an MMO, that phrase home is really powerful. But what it means is that it's a place that you just love to be, you love returning to. It's not forsaking other games though. It's able to go in and take care of family, do other responsibilities, play other games, but this is something that you long to always jump back into, see everything that's changed, and continue to put some more time into it. I find that as I level up new characters, new inspiration just bubbles up. I'm like, oh, I want to check this out now, or I want to do that. Wicked definitely has that feel. It definitely has that vibe. And so I'm personally really excited to see how this game develops. But that's to say that these games are actually incredibly complementary. I would say, not Wicked, Wukong, W Games, is more of a Souls-like boss rush mode, where I wouldn't also put it on the same difficulty curve, because I know I definitely have struggled more in Wicked than I have in Wukong. But that isn't to say that Wukong is a slouch in that regards at all. It's actually an incredibly fun and really enjoyable experience. And both of these games, like I said, they complement each other in a fun way. I really enjoy the fast-paced combat in Wukong. It feels like you're just moving around. Obviously, it's very dodge heavy, where in No Rest you have the parry system. You can parry, you can dodge. In Wukong, it's all about timing those dodges to get those perfect dodges and really like go ham in on the boss. And it is such a fun experience to kind of learn the different bosses and see all the different mechanics that level up with each iteration, with each new boss that you come to. And I think it's clear to say that if you're hungry for more No Rest for the Wicked content, and let's say October is the date that ends up being the be-all end-all date for patch number 4, where we all get the content that we've been craving, well, Wukong is a really good relief. It's a really good thing to kind of hold you over and take up some time, so that way you don't find yourself getting bitter. We see that happen with gamers, like they want more, they want it now, and then essentially they continually be told that they have to wait a little bit. Well, when you're waiting, why not go play another incredible game? And I would say Wukong is an easy recommend. If you guys did check out my review of Wukong, thank you guys so much for that support. But no worries if not. Just be sure that if you don't see my videos, as some people tend to let me know that they're just like, hey, are you still making videos? And it's like, oh yeah, I should probably remind you guys that I do make videos, usually every week, a couple of videos a week, if nothing else. If news is hitting the news, we'll be covering it for sure in this case. Now, as I like to wrap up these videos with a message of hope, this is going to be kind of a message of challenge. I challenge you today or this week to do something good for someone else that has no benefit to yourself. Now, the irony here is that, generally speaking, you're going to feel something really powerful move within you, which can in a way be its own reward. But try to go out and make a small difference in someone else's life. This could be as easy as just messaging a friend that you haven't talked to for a while, sending them a nice word of encouragement. This could be like calling your mom or someone who's been like a mother to you and thank them for that. Now, you got to remember, guys, I'm weird, but I'm going to share the challenges that I've put on myself. I love challenging myself to various different things. 1 year ago, I challenged myself to no forms of sugar for 3 years. And right now I'm 1 year into it, 75 pounds down. So that's definitely working in my favor. I definitely feel good with this challenge, but obviously it's a big challenge. Not everybody is ready for that kind of thing, or not everybody wants that kind of thing or needs that kind of thing. But for me, I find that when I say no to myself, when I willfully go without, especially in this world where I could get anything I want, pretty much whenever I want it. Amazon is a thing. I could go down to the store and I could get a milkshake if I really wanted it. But I love challenging myself because it actually kind of makes me feel more free. It makes me feel like I'm actually in control of my body and not the other way around. And I know what addiction can feel like. And I'm sure that some of you out there listening are either in the throes of addiction or, you know what that drive can be. And so I love to challenge myself to break out of those bad habits. And one of the things, like, I wasn't really a sweet tooth guy, but it just became something where I was like, yeah, I can't have sugar. And so I cut it out. And I still got 2 years to go. So here we go. We're going to keep plugging away at this challenge. The other challenge that I have going on right now, for those interested, is I'm doing what's called a St. Michael's Lent. This kicked off last week. We're on day 8 or 9 or something like that, maybe 12. It all blurs together. What does this mean? Well, it means that I fast on Wednesdays and on Fridays, and it also means that I take cold showers. And for those of you who haven't had a cold shower in a while, it actually feels really good. I'm not going to lie. It's weird. Like it's definitely something I've come to enjoy, and so it's maybe not so much a sacrifice as maybe the intent behind the law, but I've found that it is something that I really enjoy, and it feels just great. Like, honestly, it feels way more refreshing than something like a hot shower. But going without, denying yourself those conveniences and denying yourself kind of that comfort, is actually, I think, something. It has a real positive impact, especially if you're a male, which most of us here, like when I look at the stats, are. So I find those things good, and hopefully you guys get some inspiration. You find and you think of something to do to challenge yourself today. And let me know if you want to share it publicly, or you can always just message me privately. I'm very curious to see who takes up a challenge and what challenge it is that they are undertaking. And again, it's not about success. It's about the will, the trying, just trying to get it going and get it moving. I'm not calling you to be successful in your challenge. I'm calling you to try. And then if you fail, and guess what? We do fail. I fail. We get back up on the horse and we try again. And at some point you'll start to see that you learn a lot through like your failures. You learn a lot by losing. And it's not a negative. Like, if you can make it a negative, you can make it become your identity, or you can take it and say, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? How can I get better from this? And then at some point, enough time has passed, you look back and you're like, wow, I can't believe I did all that. And it all starts with that idea, the idea that you can, and you should. Anyway, thank you guys so much for taking time as my voice cracks and puberty is a thing for this old man. And I really appreciate you hanging out for the video. Hopefully you got something good out of it, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. But until then, take care.